Hello everyone. These are the solutions of CAT 2023 Shift 1 Quantitative Ability section. So here's the first question. The number of all natural numbers up to 1000 with non-repeating digits is. So we will classify these numbers into three categories like one digit number, two digit numbers and three digit numbers. So in one digit numbers, we have the numbers from 0. We will not count 0 because we have to count natural numbers. So 1 to 9, we have 9 such numbers. Now when we talk about two digit numbers, we can choose the first digit in 9 ways, 1 to 9, because this cannot be 0. And the second digit can also be chosen in 9 ways. It is including 0. So because we cannot choose the first digit which was used, so we are left with 9 more digits. So we have 9 into 9, 81 such numbers. Now when we come to the 3 digit numbers, first digit can be chosen in 9 ways. We have to exclude 0. Then second digit could be chosen in 9 ways. We can include 0. Now we have chosen 2 digits. The third digit can be chosen in 8 ways. So 9981 into 8, 648. If we add these, this is 90, 738. This is the answer to the question. The number of integer solutions of the equation 2 mod x square plus 1 equal to 5x square is. Now what we will do in this case is, see, we are given mod x. So either x, if x is positive, then mod x is equal to x. And if x is negative, then mod x is equal to minus x. So we will make two cases. So first case, if we take 2x, x square plus 1 equals 5x square. Now remember that if we are dividing, we are taking x common. We are assuming that x is not equal to 0. Because if x is equal to 0, then like if you put x equal to 0, this satisfied, right? 0 equal to 0. So one of the solutions is 0. Okay, and then we will see the other solutions also. So it becomes 2x square, 2 times of x square plus 1 is 5x. So we have 2x square plus, now if we bring this 5x this side, it becomes minus 5x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, so this can be broken as like this is 2x square minus 4x. So we can get x minus 2, 2x minus 1. Okay, so that's how it can be factorized. Okay, so I'll tell you a way to solve such equations fast. Say how I got the roots directly. So assume, like, take like the equation as, put x is equal to 10. So you will get 200 minus 50 plus 2. Okay, so we get the number as 152, which is 19 into 8. Now 19 can be, since we assumed x as 10, so we can take 19 as 2x minus 1 and this as x minus 2. So we get 2x minus 1 and x minus 2 equals to 0. So this gives us x is equal to 1 by 2 or 2. So we will accept 2 because we have to find integer solutions. So 2. Then if x is negative, this should be the case. So the equation would be 2x, x square plus 1 equals 5x square. X gets cancelled, so we, one of the results is going to be 0, and if we do not take 0, then it will be cancelled. So this gives us, now this is negative, it will go this side, 2x square 5x, and this will be minus 2, and when it goes this side it becomes plus 2 equals to 0. Now again the same thing to factorize the number, 252 we need to factorize, so this can be written as 21 into 12, so which is 2x plus 1 and x plus 2, which is equal to 0. So this gives x is equal to minus 1 by 2 at minus 2. Since we need to pick integers, this will be minus 2. So we get 3 integer values as the answer. In a right angle triangle ABC, the altitude AB is 5 centimeter and the base BC is 12 centimeter. Let us draw the triangle like this. This is ABC. So AB is 5 and this is 12. Now we are given that P and Q are 2 points on BC such that the areas of ABP ABQ and ABC are in arithmetic progression. So let's say these are the points P and Q. So it says ABP, area of this triangle, ABQ. So the including these two triangles and triangle ABC are in arithmetic progression. Okay, and we are given that area of ABC is 1.5 times the area of ABP. So let us write the triangles ABP, ABQ, and ABC. These are in AP, and area of ABC is 1.5 times of ABP. Okay, so area of ABC can be figured out since it is like half base into height. So this area is 5 into 12, which is 30. Okay, so 30 is the area of ABC. It is given that ABC is 1.5 times of ABP. So area of triangle ABP will be 20 and area of ABQ should be 25 because these are in arithmetic progression. Okay, so this is 25. Now the question asks the length PQ. So how do we find PQ is, see this triangle area is 20, this area is 25. So this means the area of this triangle is 5. Okay, area of this triangle is 5. I have shaded it APQ, right? So half, let's say PQ is the base and the perpendicular height is AB. Half PQ into AB is 5, right? So half PQ and AB is 5, is 5. So this means PQ is equal to 2. So the answer is 2 centimeters. If root 5x plus 9 plus root of 5x minus 9 is 3 plus 2 root 2, 2 plus root 2, then we need to find the value of this expression. Okay. So the first and foremost thing is, let us open this bracket and see how does it look like. So 5x plus 9 plus root of 5x minus 9 is 3 plus 2 is 6 and 3 root 2. Okay, now let's observe one thing. If we take it inside root, it becomes root 18. Now see these two numbers. What is the difference between two numbers? 9 to 0, 9, and 0 to minus 9, 9 more. So the difference is 18. Okay, and if you take 6, 6 is basically root 36. So the gap is also 18. So between these numbers, the gap is 18. So we can say that this is equal to 6 and this equals to root 18, isn't it? So we can say that 5x plus 9, you can take either of the equations. 5x plus 9 is 36 or you can take 5x minus 9 is 18, right? So by observation, you figure out that what is the relation between these terms. So we get 5x is equal to 27 and now we need to find 10x plus 9. So 10x will be equal to 54 and 10x plus 9 will be equal to 63. So we need to find root 63. So 9 into 7. So 9 means 3 comes out and we are left with root 7. So the answer is 3 root 7. So instead of doing expanding and then removing the variables, the better method is just to look at these terms and we notice that there is a gap of 18 in these two terms and a gap of 18 in these two terms as well, and hence we take the corresponding number like 5x plus 9 we equate to 36 and hence find the value. A quadrilateral ABCD is inscribed in a circle such that AB's ratio CD is 2 ratio 1 and BC ratio AD is 5 ratio 4. If AC and BD intersect at the point E, then AE ratio CE equals what? So let's draw a circle and let's take ABCD. AB ratio CD is 2 ratio 1. This is CD. Okay. So, and we are also given BC ratio AD. So we will take the sides like this. BC ratio AD is 5 ratio 4. Okay. And these two intersect at point E. These two intersect at point D. So AB ratio CD is 2:1. So let us say the sides are 2x and x. Okay. Similarly, BC ratio AD is 5:4. So let's take 5y and 4y. Okay. Now we need to find AE ratio CE. Now, this is an interesting question. It requires a lot of properties of circles. First property, if you see these, if you take the arc CD, okay, so if you take the arc CD, these are the angles in the same segment. So these two angles are equal. These two angles are anyway equal because these are vertically opposite angles. So obviously these angles are also equal. So these two triangles are similar in nature. Okay. So now from this we get that AE upon BE is equal to 4 upon 5. Okay. So we will get AE upon BE. So like these will be, you can call it in the ratio 4:5. So this is 4, this is 4, this is 5. Okay, you can call it 4A, 4B and 5A, 5B like this. Okay, whatever you want to call it. Now we need to find 4A upon 5B, right? So basically that is AE ratio AC. We need to find 4A upon 5B. Okay. Now if we consider these two triangles, this one and this one. Now again we will see this angle is equal to this angle, and this angle will be equal to this angle because we have like angles in the same segment, and this is like the vertically opposite angle. So these two triangles are also similar. So what do we get? This side upon this side is 2:1. Okay. So if this is let's say this corresponding side is twice of this side. So let's say this side is 2n, this side is going to be n, right? So we see that 5a upon 5b is equal to 2:1. So this side upon this side is 2:1. Okay, so we get a ratio b is 2:1. So a is 2 times of b. Okay, so we can put this value here, 4 into 2b upon 5b. That is what the side ratio is. So we get the ratio as 8:5. So that is how we solve it, by using similar triangles. And we will take two pairs of similar triangles. This triangle is similar to this triangle, and this triangle is similar to this triangle. So based on this, we get the ratio as 4a by 5b, because these are sides, like we are taking 4a and 4b. The sides are in the ratio 4 and 5. So 4a and 4b, 5a and 5b. Okay, corresponding sides. Similarly, when we consider these two triangles, this triangle is double of this triangle. The corresponding sides are double. So if this is 2n, this is going to be n. So we got 5a upon 5b is 2:1. Okay, and accordingly we got the relation between a and b and solve for it. Arvind travels from town A to town B, and Surbhi from town B to town A, both starting at the same time along the same route. Okay, so they start from A and B, A from here and S from here. Okay, and after meeting each other, Arvind takes 6 hours to reach town B. Now, this is a standard time speed distance question wherein, like after meeting people, they travel to the opposite sense. Okay, so the thing is, in such case, S1 upon S2 is equal to under root of T2 by T1. So that is the standard time speed distance question. So if you practice these questions, you would be knowing this method directly. You do not have to derive it. Otherwise, there is a method to derive also, but you do not need to derive because this is a standard method which should be known to every CAT aspirant. Okay. Now S1 upon S2. So we are given speed of Arvind. So Arvind's speed upon Surbhi's speed is equal to under root of reverse. Like if it is Surbhi here, so we will find the time for Surbhi. So Surbhi takes, Arvind takes 6 hours, Surbhi takes 24 hours. So root of 24 by 6. Okay, Arvind's speed is 54 and Surbhi's speed is, let us say, S. So this is 24 by 6 4 times. So root 4 is 2. So that means Survi's speed is 27. Okay. Now we are given that Arvind takes 6 hours to reach town B after meeting at this point, right? So let's say they meet at point P. So from here till here, we do not know the speed. Suppose the meeting time is T hours for both of them, right? Now in this duration, Survi Arvind is going at the rate of 54 and Survi is going at the rate of 27. Okay. Now from here till here, Survi takes 12 hours and Arvind takes 6 hours. Okay. So now Arvind takes 6 hours. That means this distance is 6 into 54, 324 kilometers. Okay, and Surabhi is sorry, this is she's taking 24 hours from this point to this point. Okay, you do not need to find the value of t also, not needed, because from here to here Arvind is taking 6 hours, so that means this distance is 324 kilometers. Okay, and Surabhi is taking 24 hours from this point to this point. So 24 into 27, if you do, you will get 648 kilometers. So this distance is 648, this distance is 324. If you add it, you will get the answer as 972 kilometers. Now this is an important thing to know in this case. Otherwise, I will tell you that how to derive it also for those who do not know how to solve it using this way. There's a longer way which is technically the one in which this concept is explained. So suppose Arvind takes this covers this distance in t hours. Okay, so we know the speed of Arvind, that is 54. So distance covered is 54 t. Okay, and this distance is like this is this in this time, uh, like it takes 54 t time to cover this distance, and Subhi will, let's say her speed is s. Okay, so she will take 24s. 54t is equal to 24s, so that's what we will get, like 24 is the uh, time taken. And the second case will be Arvind takes 6 hours, that is 324, because his speed is known, and she takes t hours, is equal to s into t, right? So when you solve for these two equations, s into t is 324 and s upon t is given. So when you solve for s, you can substitute t as since we need to find the value of s, right? Or we can find t also, any of the variables. So you can use this thing like t is 324 by s. So 54 into 324 by s is equal to 24s. So you will get s square from this. Okay, so you'll get s square. So I'll write this. Now this is a long way to do it if you do not know this concept. 24, this is 9 by 4, and this is 81. So s square is 9 into 81, s will be 3 into 9, which is 27. So this is the long way to find out the answer, and this is the direct way which you should know, that s1 upon s2 is under root of t2 by t1. Okay, so the answer to this question is 972 kilometers. Amit invests 22,000 for 6 years in a certain scheme with 4% interest per annum, compounded half yearly. Sunil invests in the same scheme for 5 years and then reinvests the same amount received at the end of 5 years for 1 year at 10% simple interest. If the amounts received by both at the end of 6 years are same, the initial investment made by Sunil is. Now understand that both are investing in the same scheme for the first 5 years, right? So first 5 years, both are investing. So amount will be the interest will be same. Okay, so that does not impact the amount because like see, you can do it like formula wise, but if you understand that for 5 years the thing is same. So basically this 10% simple interest on this principal of Sunil should be equal to amount with 4% per annum compounded half yearly for 1 year. Okay, that should be at 22,000. So that, like, if you can think that way, that's great. If not, let us put the formula and find it. Anil invests 22,000 for 6 years, right? So Anil invests 22,000, okay, for 6 years. So P 1 plus R by, now it is compounded half yearly. So effective rate is 2%. So 1 plus 2 by 100 raised to the power time becomes 12, right? Now this is equal to, now Sunil invests for 5 years and then reinvest the amount received at the end of 5 years. So suppose Sunil invests S rupees. So 1 plus 2 by 100 raised to the power 10, because his time is 5 years. So that means there are 10 half years. Okay, 10, and then he invests that amount at 10% simple interest. So it becomes 1.1 times, because like 10% interest means the amount becomes 1.1 times of this further. Okay, so you can remove this, like this is 10th power, so it becomes square, right? So that's what I meant to say, that you can ignore 5 years simply and then take 2% rate of interest for 1 year and then calculate it. Okay, so anyway, like we get the value of S as 1 point, this is 1.02 whole square, which is, this is 22,000, so let it be 22 only. Okay, for simpler calculations, let us just rely on the digits. So 22 divided by 11 into 10404. Okay, so it is 2 times. So when you multiply by 2, you get 20808 rupees. Okay, so this concept, like if you can think about this, that after 5 years, the rate of interest, since they are investing at the same scheme, so this will cancel out. You no need to find this. You can just, you could have just put this thing, that 22,000, or you can have just written 22 into 1.02 whole square is equal to 1.1 s, right? If you just wrote this also, you could have done it instantly. It required a bit of thinking, that 5 years later the interest in compound interest will be the multiplying factor in case of compound interest will be same, and hence can be removed easily. So you would have been left with this equation. But still, right, if you wish to solve it completely formula wise, this is the answer: 22,000 into this raised to the power 12, because 6 years and 6 half years. Similarly 10, because it is 5 half years, 5 years, and in half, compounded half yearly into 1.1. If x and y are positive real numbers such that log base x, x square plus 12 is 4, and 3 log y x is equal to 1, we need to find x plus y. Okay, so it's an easy one. So log x is and 4 is this. So we know that it gives us x to the power 4 is equal to x square plus 12, right? So x4 minus x square minus 12 equal to 0, right? So the way which I use to solve questions, like if it's a quadratic equation, I may take it 100, 10, and like the number which is there. So it turns out to be 78, which is 13 into 6. Okay, so we can say that x square plus 3. So I treat x, put x square equal to 10 and solve this equation. So x square plus 3, x square minus 4 equals to 0. So x square is 4. Okay, positive real number. So that means x will be equal to 2. Now x square cannot be minus 3. Not possible. So we will take this, and x is 2. Right. Now x is 2. So we are given that 3 log y x is equal to 1. So it means log y x cube is equal to 1. X is 2. So this is basically log y 8 is equal to 1. So y is equal to 8. So y is equal to 8, x equal to 2, y equal to 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. In an examination, the average mark of 4 girls and 6 boys is 24. Each of the girls has the same marks while each of the boys has the same marks. If the marks of any girl is at most double the marks of any boy, but not less than the marks of any boy, then the number of possible distinct integer values of the total marks of 2 girls and 6 boys is. So this is an interesting question, a good question to solve. Now, average mark of 4 girls and 6 boys is given as 24. Okay. So, total marks of 4 girls and 6 boys is equal to 240 because there are 10 people. And we are given that we need to find 2 girls plus 6 boys ka total. Right. So, let's say T is the total. So, this is an integer. This is an integer value. So, if I subtract this, so we should get it 2 girls should be 240 minus some integer. Right. That should be integer. Right? So that should be some integer value. That is what we need to find. Now, how will we get the values of G? So we will take the extreme cases. So one extreme case will be, it says that the marks of any girl is at most double. Okay, so that is maximizing girls, right? And not less than the marks of any boy. So one is that girls equal to boys. Okay, and the highest cases girls is less than equal to 2 times of boys, right? So we will maximize up to, so these are the two cases that we need to do, right? We need to find maximum value of girls such that it should not be it should be maximum at the double of boys, right? So that's what we will do. So first case, G is equal to B, so we get that 4 girls plus 6 boys, so we will get 10 girls is equal to 240. So G is equal to 24. So one end is 24. Second end is G is equal to 2B. Okay. So we will get, like, G is equal to 2B. So we get 8, 8B plus 6B. Right. So 14B is 240. Or 14B can be written as 7G. 7G is equal to 240. So if we find the value of G corresponding to that, so 240 by 7 is basically somewhere around 30, like 34 is what you get. Okay, so 34 into 7 is 238. Okay, so you will get 34 point something, right? So you will get till this range. Now, if you take 34, okay, you will not be able to solve, like, let's put the values and see that if 34 is possible or not. Okay, suppose we put 4 girls plus 6 boys, right? So if you put girls as 34, so we will get 136. Okay, now we need to put 6 boys so that the total is 240. So we need to put 104. So uh, we cannot make it 104, right? So 6 boys is greater than 17. So we will not be able to put it. So the girls start from 24, okay, and till, like, we will get like 24. So we will get 24, 24.5, 25, and so on till 34, right? So we will get uh, how many terms are there? Difference is 10, 20 plus 1, 21 terms. So in this series, you will get 21 terms. Right, so the answer is 21. So we will get 20, 34 point something here, like 34.28. We cannot get to 34.5. So this is the first term of the series and the last term is 34. Because 2G should be an integer. So starting from 24, 24.5, we have 21 terms in this series. Right, so this is what the answer is. A mixture P is formed by removing a certain amount of coffee from a coffee jar and replacing the same amount with cocoa powder. The same amount is again removed from mixture P and replaced with the same amount of cocoa powder to form a new mixture Q. If the ratio of coffee and cocoa in mixture Q is 16:9, then the ratio of cocoa in mixture P to that in mixture Q is. So we have this mixture replacement question. So first case, we have coffee. Okay, so this is coffee. And when we replace, right, we take out some coffee and then we replace. So we have coffee and then we have cocoa powder. Okay, or we can write just P to represent cocoa powder. Then again we replace some part and then replace it. So we will have coffee and powder, right? Now it is given that 16 ratio 9. So understand this thing. 16 coffee ratio total, right, is 16 ratio 25 after two transactions. Coffee is 16, cocoa is powder is 9. Okay, so coffee to total is 16 ratio 25 after two transactions. This is mixture Q, this is mixture P. Okay, so in Q it is 16 ratio 25. So in like after two transfers, so basically it is like 1 minus we call it y by x raised to the power n. Okay, 1 minus y by x means which how much portion are you replacing. So after two transactions it is like 16 by 25 coffee ratio total in this is in Q. Okay, in P it will be square root of this, which is 4 by 5, right? So coffee will be 4 parts, total will be 5 parts. Now let us take this total as 25. Suppose the volume is 25. So if this is 25, so after the first removal it will be 4 ratio 5. So coffee will be 20 and this will be coffee powder will be 5. Okay, initially everything was coffee, so 25 was entire coffee. Now after two transactions it is 16 ratio 25, so 16 ratio 9, right? So total is 25, this is 16 ratio 9. So the answer is 5 ratio 9, 5 parts of cocoa powder in uh, mixture P and 9 parts here. So 5 ratio 9. So just remember that it is 1 minus y by x raised to the power n. So if after two transactions and the ratio is with respect to the total. Okay, don't take 16 ratio 9, take 16 ratio 25. So the amount of coffee with respect to total after two transactions is 16 ratio 25. After one transaction, it would have been 4 by 5. Suppose we had to do one more transaction. In that case, it would be like if you take cube, it becomes 64 and 125. So it would have been 64 ratio 61 after this third transaction, right? If it was ratio, so this ratio will be 64 ratio 61. So you find ratio with respect to the total and take powers of it. So if it is 16 by 25 here, it should have been 4 by 5 here. Geeta sells two objects A and B at the same price such that she makes a profit of 20% on object A and a loss of 10% on object B. If she increases the selling price such that the objects A and B are still sold at an equal price and at a profit of 10% is made on object B, then the profit made on object A will be nearest to what percent? Okay, now for simplicity, profit of 20% means 120% and loss of 10% means 90%. Okay, so 20% and 90%, take a multiple or an LCM, right? So you can take the number 36. Okay, you can take the, so selling price is the same, so let's put SP as 36 for both the items. Okay, so there are two items A and B. Now cost is, first cost is 20% profit, that means cost must have been 30, and 10% loss, the cost must have been 40. Okay, now if she increases the selling price such that objects A and B are still sold at an equal price and a profit of 10% is made on object B. Okay, so now the new selling price, this was the first selling price, new selling price is 10% profit on object B. Okay, so object B is now sold at 44, so this will also be sold at 44. Okay, so the profit is basically 14 rupees out of 30 and into 100. So 140 by 3, which is 46.67%, or rounding off to 47%. So an easy question on profit loss. If x and y are real numbers such that x square plus x minus 2y minus 1 का whole square is this, we need to find the value of x minus 2y. Now this is a tricky question and it requires some manipulation of these numbers and completion of perfect squares. Okay, so now let us understand this thing. it is x square, and if we expand it, right, if you look at the right hand side, it is minus 4xy minus 4y square. Okay, this is the right hand side, and if we bring it this side, it will become x square minus 4xy minus 4y square. Okay, plus x minus 2y minus 1 whole square, that will be equal to 0. Now if you observe this number, okay, so this is, sorry, this will become plus when we bring it to the left hand side, since it is negative sign here. Now if you notice this number, it is x plus 2y ka whole square, because x square 4y square 2 into x into 2y, so it is square of this. If you are able to form perfect squares using this thing, this question is done, and it is x minus 2y minus 1 equals to 0, right? Now these are real numbers. So real numbers have the property that a square is greater than equal to 0, right? R square is greater than equal to 0. Now this equality will satisfy only if both the values are 0. If either of them is greater than 0, other will become negative. So which is not possible. This means both the values are 0. Now we need to find x minus 2y. We see that x minus 2 minus y 1 equal to 0. So x minus 2y is 1. So good question wherein you had to identify this pattern and complete the squares. The salaries of three friends Sita, Geeta, Meeta are in the ratio 5, 6, 7. If in the first year they get salary hikes of 20%, 25% and 20% respectively. In the second year, Sita and Meeta get salary hikes of 40% and 25% respectively. And the salary of Geeta becomes equal to the mean salary of the three friends. The salary hike of Geeta in the second year is Sita, Geeta, Meeta. Okay. First year, second year, and third year. So first year the salaries are 5, 6, 7. They get 20% hike, so it becomes 6, 25% becomes 7.5, and 20% becomes 8.4, right? In the second year, Sita and Meeta, pay attention to this, it is not Sita and Geeta, Sita and Meeta. Sita gets 40% hike, so it will become 8.4, 1.4 times kar denge. 25% of this is 1/4 is 2.1, so it becomes 10.5, right? Salary of Geeta becomes equal to the mean salary of the three friends. Mean means average salary. Okay, average means if this is the average, so that should be the average of these two. So 8.4 plus 10.5 by 2 is 18.9 by 2, which is 9.45. So this salary is 9.45. Okay, so we need to find the salary hike of Geeta in the second year. So it is 7.5 and it is 9.45. So the hike is 1.95, 195 by 75 in percentage terms. Right, so we need to divide by 75. You can make it like 25 into 3. And wherever we need to divide by 25, instead of dividing, multiply by 4. So 195 into 4 by 3, if you do, you will get 6565 into 4 is 260. That means answer would be 26%. Ignoring decimals and zeros, right? So if you write it 195 by 250 into 3, and then you do this with like 250, like 4 by 1000 and so on, you will get the exact percentage term. So you get the answer as 26%. So like a doable question, just you need to note the values, make the numbers and get the answer. A quadrilateral ABCD is inscribed in a circle, and okay, so we've already done this question. Let n be the least positive integer such that 168 is a factor of 1134 raised to the power n. If m is the least positive integer such that 1134 raised to the power n is a factor of 168 raised to the power m, then m plus n equals. So now in this question, what we need to do is we need to find factors of 168 and 1134. So 168 is divisible by 3. So it becomes 3 into 56. We can say 3 into 7 into 8. So basically in terms of prime factors, it is 2 cube 7 into 8. Okay. Now looking at the second one, that is 1134. 1134, if we see, it is 9. So if we divide by 9, we will get 1, 223, 2 and 6, 126. Again we can divide by further by 9, so it becomes 9 into 9 into 14 or 2 into 7. Okay, so this is basically 2 into 3 raised to the power, this is 3 square, 3 square, so 3 raised to the power 4 into 7. So this is the prime factorization of, sorry, this is 3 into 7. So this is the prime factorization of these two numbers. Okay. Now 168 is a factor of 1134 raised to the power n. Okay. 168 means 2 and least होना चाहिए. This is a factor of 2 into 3 raised to the power 4 into 7 raised to the power n. Right. Now see this, 3 is already a factor of this, so not an issue. 7 is already a factor of this, not an issue. But here we have just 2, right? So in order to make 2 raised to the power a factor, we should have n is equal to 3, because if n is equal to 3, then it becomes 2 raised to the power 3, and then only it can be a factor. So n, we get the value as 3. Now we will use this expression. Now this is 1134 raised to the power n. That becomes 2 raised to the power 3 into 3 raised to the power 12 into 7 raised to the power 3. This is this value. And it should be a factor of 168, which is 2 raised to the power 3 into 3 into 7 raised to the power m. Okay. Now it is raised to the power n. Okay. So this should be a factor of this number. It should be a factor of this number. Now see this, 2 raised to the power 3 is already present. Fine. 7 raised to the power 3 we need to make. So we will have to raise to the power 3 to make 7 raised to the power 3. But we have to make 3 raised to the power 12 a factor of this. So we will basically have to raise to the power 12. Because this is already a factor, so not a problem. If we raise to the power 12, this number to the power 12, so this will become a factor. And 7 raised to the power 3 will be a factor, because it will become 17 power 12. So we need to raise to the power 12. So m is 12. So m plus n is 15. Let alpha and beta be the two distinct roots of the equation 2x square minus 6x plus k is equal to 0, such that alpha plus beta and alpha beta are the distinct roots of this equation. You need to find the value of 8 times of k minus p. Okay. Alpha and beta are the roots of this equation. So we have alpha plus beta is equal to sum of roots is minus this upon this. So it is 6 by 2, which is 3, and alpha beta, that is product of roots, is k upon 2, right? Now we have to make this equation alpha plus beta and alpha beta. These are the roots of this equation. Now second equation, the sum is given by the sum of these two values, because these are the roots. Now let's call them, you can call them uh, like, since this is, let's call the roots as lmn. Okay, so l plus m will be the sum of the roots, that is equal to minus p by 1, and l into m will be equal to p, right? So just substitute the values of l and m here. So 3 plus k by 2 is equal to minus p, and the second equation is 3k by 2 is equal to p. So let's solve for these. Now we get that p is equal to 3k by 2. So we will substitute this thing here. So 3 plus k by 2 is equal to minus 3k by 2. Okay, and if we bring it this side, we will get 3 plus, this becomes k plus 3k, 4k by 2, 2k is equal to 0, or 2k is equal to minus 3, k is equal to minus 3 by 2 or minus 1.5. k की value आ गई. Now we will find the value of p. So p is 3 into minus 1.5 by 2 minus 4.5 by 2 minus 2.25. So k is calculated, p is calculated. Put 8 times of k minus p. 8 times of k is minus 1.5 and p minus p will be plus 2.25. So 0.75, 8 into 0.75, we get the value as 6. So question, standard question on sum and product of roots in a quadratic equation. Brishti went on an 8-hour trip in a car. Before the trip, the car had traveled a total of x kilometer till then, where x is a whole number and is a palindromic. That is, x remains unchanged when its digits are reversed. At the end of the trip, the car had traveled a total of 26,862 kilometers till then. This number again being palindromic. So we can see that this is a palindromic number. Okay, and like 26862, that is written here, right? And then we need to find the greatest possible average speed at which she drove during the trip in kilometer per hour. Okay, the highest speed is 110. Now this is a simple question to do, just the language looks a bit complicated, but the question is very simple. See, the total is 26862. Okay, and the max she can go is 110, and she took a 8-hour trip. So if we subtract 880 from it, so we will get 25982. That will be the answer. That is the maximum. If she goes at the maximum speed, this would be the number. Now, is it a palindrome? No, right? So 25,982 is not a palindrome, right? Palindrome means reverse should be the same, 25982, but it is 28. Now, in 25,000, can we have a number that starts with 25 and ends with 52? Not possible, right? Because 982 aega, then 99 aega, then it will be 26,000. So basically, the number should start with 26 and end with 62. Okay. Now we need to find the greatest possible speed. We have to maximize her speed. So we need to find the smallest possible number. So this number should be the smallest number. Smallest number possible is 26062. Okay, so that is how it is possible. 26062 is the smallest number which is possible as a palindrome. So we need to deal with palindrome number. Okay, so this is 26862. After this is after the trip, and before must have been 26062. So the distance is 800 kilometer and traveled at 8 hours. So the speed is 100 kilometer per hour. Next question. The minor angle between the hour's hand and the minute's hand of a clock was observed at 8:48 am. The minimum duration in minutes after 8:48 am when this angle increases by 50% is. So it was a rare question asked on clocks, which was not being asked for quite a good duration of time. So it says that the angle between these hands at 8:48. So angle between the hands is given by 11 by 2 m minus 30 h mod of this. Okay, so 11 by 2 is minute is 48 and hours is 8 hours. 24 into 11, which is 264 minus 240. We will get mod, which is 24 degrees. So the angle is 24 degrees. Now it has to increase by 50%. Increase by 50%. 50% means 12-degree increase. Now understand this. The hour hand covers 360 degrees in 12 hours. Okay, because let's say it is 3 p.m. Okay, so this R hand will come back at 3 in 12 hours, 3 p.m. at 3 a.m. at 12 360 degree. So 30 degree in 1 hour and zero point 0.5 degree in 1 minute. And if we look at the minute hand, suppose it is at 12, so it will return to 12 in 360 degrees in 60 minutes or 1 hour. So it covers, if you divide by 60, we get 6 degrees in 1 minute. So minute hand goes by 6 degrees, hour hand goes by 0.5 degrees. So there is a relative speed of 5.5 degrees per minute. Now the angle covered needs to be covered is 12 degrees. So the relative speed is 5.5 degrees per minute. So it is 12 into 5 upon 5.5, which is equal to 24 by 11 minutes. So in 24 by 11 minutes, the gap will be of 12 degrees. So that is the answer to this question. The equation x cube plus 2r plus 1x square plus 4r minus 1x plus 2 equal to 0 has minus 2 as one of the roots. If the other two roots are real, then the minimum possible non-negative integer value of r is. Now this is an interesting question and can be solved in a very interesting way. Now in a cubic equation, right, so this is basically the sum of the roots. This is the product of two roots, taken two roots as a time. Let's say the roots are ABC. So this is basically AB plus BC plus CA. This is like A plus B plus C. And this is ABC. Right? And upon like, so I'll write the cubic equation. So if this cubic equation is ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, okay, is equal to 0. The sum of roots is minus b upon a, right? Sum of two roots taken two at a time, like this thing, is given by c upon a, and the product of roots is given by minus d upon a. Right, now we are given that minus 2 is one of the roots of the equation. Okay, so the product of the roots is minus 2, p is minus 2, one of the roots is minus 2. So the product of other roots, let's say r1 and r2, is 1. Okay, now if the product of the roots is 1, that means the roots will be of the form alpha and 1 upon alpha. Okay, the roots will be of this format, alpha and 1 upon alpha. Now this is a very interesting property to know, because the product is 1, that means the roots will be inverse of each other. And another property of this scenario is alpha plus 1 upon alpha lies in this range. So it has to be greater than equal to 2 and less than equal to minus 2. Okay, so it will follow this range. Now we will talk about the sum of the roots. Okay, sum of the roots is minus b upon a, so which is 2r plus 1. So sum of the roots is minus 2r minus 1. Okay, and this is equal to alpha plus 1 upon alpha minus 2. Right, so what do we get? We get alpha plus 1 upon alpha. This becomes alpha plus 1 upon alpha becomes minus 2r plus 1. Okay, so this can be replaced by minus 2r plus 1. It is in this range. Okay, so now we get, so we will get minus 2r is 1 and this is minus 3. So if we divide by like if we divide by minus r, it becomes basically r will be in the range, it will turn it to be negative. So minus r is less than minus 1 by 2. and this will, again we will reverse the sign, so r becomes greater than equal to 3 by 2. Okay, so we get this range, and when we divide by a negative number the signs reverse, so r becomes less than minus 1 by 2 and r becomes greater than equal to 3 by 2. Okay, now we need to find the minimum possible non-negative integer value of r. So r is greater than 1.5, so non-negative, that is positive integer value, we will get as 2. So the answer to this question is 2. Now the great observation here was understanding this, the remaining two roots are of this format. Otherwise, it would have taken a lot time to divide this equation by x minus 2 and solve it. Let's see with a circle and L with the locus of the point of intersection of a pair of tangents to C with the angle between the two tangents equal to 60 degrees. So we are given some information about uh, a circle, the equation of a circle. So it is basically based on coordinate geometry. So in a circle, we try to complete the squares. Okay, so let's see this. How do we find the squares of this? So x square plus y square plus 4x minus 6y is equal to 3. So let us try to make this a square. So we will get x square plus 4x plus 4. We need to complete it a square format. Okay, and to make it a complete square, we will need y square minus 6y plus 9. Okay, so we added 4 and 9 here. It becomes 3 plus 4 plus 9. So it becomes x plus 2 ka whole square and y minus 3 ka whole square is 16. Now, if it is the circle, the equation of circle is x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square. Okay, that is equal to r square. So where a comma b is the center of the circle. So in this case, we will get the center of circle as this is x minus 2. So this center is minus 2 comma 3. So this is the center of the circle. Okay, and radius is r is 4. Okay, now what we are doing is we are creating a tangent at 60 degree, and that is a locus. Locus means a complete range of points. So this is a point, and we are given that we need to find L, right? L is intersection of a pair of tangents to C with the angle between the two tangents 60 degree. Right? So this angle is 60 degree. Now if we join radius to the tangent, it is 90 degree. Okay, so if we join this line, so these two are equal because they originate from the two tangents from the same point are in equal length, so equal. Now these are radius of the circle, this is the common side, so congruent triangles, this means this angle is going to be 30 degree, right? Now this length is r, so this is 30 60 90 triangle, 90 degree perpendicular, 30 60 90 triangle. So in 30 60 90 triangle, the sides are in the ratio 1 ratio root 3 ratio 2. Okay, 1 means the side opposite to 30. So if this is r, so hypotenuse is going to be 2r. So this is 2r and this is root 3r. Okay, now basically what it is saying that this is the locus, that means there will be a complete circle which will denote the point L, right? So L is basically this circle, right? Now we do not have to find the radius or any such thing. The question is asking the point at which L touches the line x equal to 6. So let's say this is the line at which it touches. So here we are given that x is equal to 6. So we have 6 comma y. Now we see that x is 6 in all the options, so that is perfectly fine. Now this distance from the center to this line should be 8, right? Now if you see minus 2 to 6, the distance is 8. So it should be essentially y should be equal to 3. So distance between the, like if there was a difference thing, right? So distance is what? So distance is given by, let's say this is 6. So 6 plus 2 whole square plus y minus 3 ka whole square, that should be equal to 8. Okay, so this is 8 square, so this part should be 0, so y should be equal to 3. So the point is 6 comma 3. So it was a difficult question combining the concept of coordinate geometry as well as so that is coordinate geometry wherein we have to find the distance between the points. The amount of job that Amal, Sunil, and Kamal can individually do in a day are in harmonic progression. Kamal takes twice as much time as Amal to do in the same amount of job. If Amal and Sunil work for 4 days and 9 days respectively, Kamal needs to work for 16 days to finish the remaining job. We need to find the number of days Sunil will take to finish the job working alone. Okay, so this is a question that involves the concept of harmonic progressions. Okay, so the time, like efficiency, is given in harmonic progression. So time is 1 upon it. So time will be in arithmetic progression. So we have Anil, Amal, Sunil, and Kamal, right? So amount of job is efficiency. Efficiency is in because efficiency is 1 upon time, right? So if efficiency is harmonic progression, time will be in arithmetic progression. Kamal takes twice as much time as Amal. Okay. So if he takes X, Kamal will take 2x and Sunil will take 1.5x time. Okay. Or you can take it as 2, 3, 4. Like you can take the time as 2, 3, 4. So let's say, like now we will find the ratio of efficiencies. Suppose the work is 12 units, so his efficiency will be 6, his efficiency will be 4, and his efficiency will be 3. Okay, so this is the ratio of efficiency. Time is in the ratio this, and efficiency is in this ratio. Time is 2, 3, 4, which is given to us. Okay, the ratio is given to us. We can find using this given information. So we will get the ratio of efficiency as 6:4:3. Now it says Amal and Sunil work for 4 days and 9 days respectively. So we will find the total work. Right? So Amal works for 4 days, Sunil works for 9 days, and Kamal works for 16 days to complete this work. So total work is 24 plus 36 plus 48, which is equal to 60 plus 48, 108 units. Now the question asks, how long will Sunil take to finish the job working alone? So Sunil is working at the efficiency of 4 units per day. So Sunil will take 27 days to complete the work. So it was a good question, tough question on time and work, as it involved this concept of harmonic progressions. For some positive and distinct real numbers, x, y, and z, if under 1 upon y plus root z is the arithmetic mean of these two numbers, we need to find the relationship between these given numbers. Okay, now this is like if you solve it algebraically, that is going to take a lot of time. So the best way to solve such kind of a question is by assuming some values. Okay, so we are given that this is the arithmetic mean of these two numbers. Okay, so we have 1 upon x plus z, 1 upon root y plus root z, and then we can take 1 upon root x plus root y. That should be in AP. They should be in AP because this is the arithmetic mean of this. Right now, one way is like you take 1, 2, 3 values and see that if it works out. Okay, that's how we are going to do it. Another way to think through it, like how do we decide on the options, right? How which option to pick, which is the best way to pick an option in this case. See, in this case, y is missing. See, we have three terms x, y, and z. In this case, y is missing. In this case, x is missing. And in this case, z is missing. Okay, so x वाला term बीच में आना चाहिए. That is a smart logic to solve such questions. Now none of the options have X in between, I would pick it as the best answer. Since in the examination you have very less time, you should use this kind of logic to figure out the answer. Because coincidentally, the options are such that you get this. So let us do one thing. Let's put the values and verify the answer. So this question obviously needs to be done by verification through options, because algebraically it will take 15-20 minutes to solve one single question and you cannot afford that time. Okay, so if you have to attempt such a question, you should use this smart hacks, that these are in AP. Okay, so the missing term is y, x and z. So essentially something would be like it, even if it were root, so it would have been root y, root x, root z, like that. So since there is only one option such that, so the first verification is we will verify this option. So let us put y is equal to 1, x is equal to 2 and z equal to 3 and see if it fits the condition. So if we put y is equal to 1, this becomes 1 upon root 2 plus root 3. It becomes 1 upon root 1 will, y will remain 1 only. 1 plus root z is root 3 and this is 1 upon 1 plus 1 root 2. Okay, so these are in AP. Uh, Now the way to convert is, since these are non-rational denominators, we will rationalize the denominators. So it will become root 3 minus root 2 upon 3 root 3 ka whole square is, basically what we do is, this is root 3 plus root 2. So we'll multiply by root 3 minus root 2 upon root 3 minus root 2. Okay, so 3 root 3 whole square is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. And this is root 3 minus root 2 by 1. This will become root 3. Just write the conjugate, right? Root 3 minus 1. And upon it will be 3 square is, this is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. And this number is root 2 minus 1 by. Now they are in AP. Let's check if they are in AP. So if you add these two, root 3 minus 2 plus root 2 minus 1 and you divide by 2. So we get root 3 minus 1 by 2, which is splitting. So that means these three are in AP. Hence our answer is option 3. So that's a hack. This I need to verify. But let's suppose you are running short of time and like you try to attempt this question just as a guesswork. So this would have been the approach to mark this question as the, and this option as the answer, since x is missing and x is in between in this option. So these were the solutions to slot 1 QA section. I hope you loved the solutions.